guys? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Welcome to Hartung Family Farms. And today, Farm Progress Show Day 2. Let's get into it, kind of see what else we can see who we can talk to, see what cool things are out there. I got my eye on that Brazilian sprayer. I cannot wait to talk to a few folks about that. Must be an AGI assembly hub because it's a lot of augers. They're just rolling up to the show. About 10 minutes before show opens, and there's a lot of traffic control around. Iowa State troopers, Iowa State Patrol does a lot around here. It's actually pretty impressive. Let's take a look at this thing. It's a rock picker by Terraclaver.
Took him about 10 minutes to get the fish out.
Well, that thing's pretty cool. So apparently a drone will go through and map your field to see where all your rocks are at and automatically choose a path for that skid loader to come take a look. Okay, just walking the show here this morning, taking a look at some of the manure spreaders. There's some big units. I mean, you can see anything you want to see at the show. You want to look at manure spreaders, you got something as small as a four-wheeler can pull it to something as big as you need a four-wheel drive tractor. Like that one. I think you probably need a four-wheel drive tractor. You got a big front wheel assist. So we'll keep walking, see what all we see, maybe get a couple interviews, talk to a couple friends, and we'll see what the day brings. So there's a massive auction going on here today. I believe it's going to be almost $30 million worth of equipment, so they say. Highly doubt they'll get that in the auction, but a lot of Deere stuff. I think it's a Deere dealer that's doing that auction. It's pretty nuts. All these heads are getting sold. Huh. Yeah, here's some of the machines on auction. New Holland T7 315, little baby T7 780. Got a case 8250. Oh, 8250. Oh, it's two-wheel drive. Never mind, we need four-wheel drive. But only 227 engine hours. Ah, this will be interesting to watch. Huh. Okay. Didn't realize they had a whole lot of case stuff on there. The chains are all rusty and only 100 hours or 200 hours on it. Doesn't seem the greatest. We stopped the cuff. That'd be interesting to watch. All right, let's keep rolling. Yeah, I got an auction in Miles, my hometown, or near my hometown. Okay, guys, so I'm here at the AGI booth, and I know I show you guys a lot about our bin manager system, how I can basically see what the weather's on, what the weather's like outside, how we can see what the inside of our bin, what our grain is looking like, and we can basically make decisions off of that. So you guys can see, like I said, the box that's on the outside, all the weather stations, but what you can't see a lot of the time is actually what's in the grain bins. So they actually have cables depending on the size of your bin. Our bins have anywhere from 4 to 8 cables, and they basically go down and see every 3 feet. They have as a sensor that basically tells moisture and temperature, and you can kind of see what your bin looks like all the way around. That cable looks like, you can kind of see there's a foot in this one, but in our bins a little bit farther away. This is a sensor that basically senses temperature and moisture. That way, imagine this all filled up with grain, you can kind of see cross-sectional and get a good average of what your actual bin looks like. So it's just kind of cool seeing the actual technology that we can see on our farm. And it's very beneficial because we can actually use it to condition our grain, get it to the right moisture temperature, so get the right moisture and temperature. Moisture because we can sell it for a premium, you know, sell as much water weight as we absolutely possibly can, which is making us money. And temperature will help us make sure that it's conditioned and will stay, it'll basically stay in the bin as long as we need it. The SureTrack is a really cool system, guys. Really check it out. Link will be down in the description. And thank you, channel partner AGI, for helping sponsor this video. Here's the Geringhoff booth, and looks like they just came out with a 50-foot head. Yep. New XFR 50-foot draper. These drapers are kind of cool. Tri-reel. They have integrated air built into them. So right here is air shoots out. It's a pretty cool head. Center knife drive. So the outside, most drapers are driven on the outside. So there's a big old gearbox out here that spins it and spins the knives, moves them back and forth. But this pretty sleek. So when you have the drives out here, this is a lot wider. So it knocks down more crop. Cool design. Okay, I gotta check this thing out. So this is a Stara. the sprayer. Everything's orange. So this thing's kind of neat. It's a front cab mount and everything's behind you. 4,000 liters, so that's like 1,000 gallons or so. But the boom is in the middle. The boom is not on the outside. So not a very long travel. Like it only goes about halfway, so that's kind of interesting. Well, that's because it's in park. I bet so. But not as intuitive. I don't know what the OK means. I'm thinking this is for the display because it's not touchscreen. Boom up and down maybe. Not sure. Parking brake, throttle, all your lights and stuff. So, I mean, it's a very simple unit. I'm sure it's going to be easy to run. Oh, storage compartment. Nice. Radio, a couple other storage. Knockouts for switches. Thumbs up. Oh, I love it. See if I can find somebody to chat about this. See if we can get an integrated air wand. What? Huh. Pretty cool. So here's the tank. What I mean, most sprayers are mounted to the rear. This one's mounted in the center, in between there. And it looks like as it folds up, it folds back. So this outer section right here folds back, and then that folds forward, and then that out there flips up. So back, forward, up. Very interesting. I wonder how you service your engine deck. Unless they have another platform to get back at the engine. I bet so. Very cool. Oh, it's even got a boom in the back too. Huh. Very different, very unique. No idea how to work this thing. Nozzles every 10 inches it almost looks like. Oh, it's got ground contact. So most sprayer sensors are like a radar, so it doesn't have anything touching the ground. This thing does. At least I think. Actually, no, that just helps keep the boom out of the ground. There's no sensing on it. Just very different. Yeah, this section is stout. I don't know how heavy built this thing is. I can tell that the chassis raises up. Yeah, so this entire chassis is on a hydraulic cylinder, so it can raise up very tall, and they could also lower down the entire chassis itself. This looks like it's sturdy. I don't know if it can raise up at all. It's a suspension. Oh no, it's on hydraulic cylinder, so it can raise up there. It's a very neat design. So I am here at the Stara booth. So we got a Stara 4000 sprayer behind, and actually I have Thomas here. Thomas from Stara. Thomas, thank you for coming on here.
Okay.
So you go ahead and tell me a little bit about the machine. What do we have here behind us?
Yeah, our factory is in Brazil.
Yep.
Yes. We came here with our machine Imperator 4000. Yeah. It's a sprayer. This tank have 4,000 liters.
4,000
yeah.
liters. So roughly 1,000 gallons or so. So a good size sprayer.
Yeah. About the booms, the basic difference this machine is because in the middle of the machine. Yeah. It's really different concept, but the main points we developed this is because we have more stability in this case. I
was wondering about that. So yeah, most sprayers today have the boom out front or boom in the back. So you put it in the middle, in between your wheels for more stability.
Yeah, in
gotcha.
the weight is 50-50.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, and that's very critical because sprayers, they're very there's a lot of weight and a lot of one up top. So if you're not 50-50, it's a lot harder to drive, a lot easier to get stuck, etc. So that makes sense.
Yeah,
perfect. That makes sense.
Here we have the clearance. Then the machine have the lift system.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
How does that work? Is that just hydraulic cylinders or?
Yes, hydraulic cylinders. Just put on button on the screen and the machine do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the max point is here is 78 inches.
Jeez.
Yeah, but can be worked in 50.
Okay. Oh
yeah.
Wow, that's a big lift.
I think it's good here because you plant here much corn.
Yep,
yeah?
a lot of corn.
Corn is tall culture.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, the engines is Cummins.
Okay.
6.7 is have around 30,000 horsepower.
300 horsepower?
300.
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
300.
3,000 would be a lot for a sprayer.
Yeah, that's 300.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, we have 4-seater system for wheels.
Yep,
yeah.
I see that.
To copy the the way.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
the way
the only
of-
two
of the-
tracks.
Yeah, the tracks, and the cabin is really
Very big.
big.
Yep.
Yeah, for us in Brazil, in the really big cabin. Yeah, and well, I think it's this.
That makes sense. So is this the first time showing this machine in North America?
First time here in North America. It's first time here in Farm Progress.
Gotcha.
We came here to learn about the market, to
Yep.
learn about what the farmers need in our sprayer.
Yep.
Well, we can learn
Yeah, that makes sense.
about the
So
farm.
are you guys going to be testing it like in North America, or are you just going to go, when are you going to start selling these things?
No, I don't know.
No, but you're
Yeah.
basically just exploring the market right now.
Yeah, just
That makes sense.
search the market here.
Yeah, makes sense.
But can be next year or maybe in
Yeah.
the future. Yeah.
Awesome. And
It's a dream for us.
yep,
Here. Yeah.
that makes sense. And then last thing, what's the model called? Imperador? What's that mean? what does that mean? The Imperador?
Imperador.
Imperador. What does that translate to?
Our line of sprayers is Imperador. We have Imperador 2,000 liters, 2,000 half, 3,000, 4,000.
Gotcha. That makes sense. This is the big machine.
Yeah, this is the biggest machine.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Thomas.
Thank you
Really
for you.
appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Well, that was very unique, very cool to see that. So I was wondering about the mid-mount boom. That makes sense, just for balance. 50-50 weight split. Makes sense. Probably see these trailers on like Mike Mitchell's or Zach Johnson or Tony Fast, but I think they're pretty neat, these fiber trailers. It's a heck of a tender setup, but it's you pay for it. It's a pricey one. This horse sprayer is a little bit different. That inner boom right there is solid. It doesn't tip up and down like the rest of the sprayers in the market, and they actually just tip up their outer booms. It's kind of interesting, but they say it's the most stable boom on the market. Be neat to see. 500,000 combines. That's impressive. Kind of a cool little show unit. And 50 years of Jaguar, a 990 with the blackout edition. Cool.
Since has so much more to offer than that.
So Fendt's got their own kind of driving simulators that we saw actually at, I think it was Commodity Classic. They had quite a booth here. I like the 728 Vario. I think it's a 280 horse tractor. Pretty decent. I want to go take a look at the combine here a little bit later. And here's the sprayer. Tell you what though, these rogators, they are sharp. Very sharp. Can raise up. It's got big tires on them. You can do fungicide. Guys, late breaking innovation. You can get a cup holder for a Massey. That's huge. Matsu dealers. Nice. And here's that Massey sprayer. Same one that I took a look at the winter shows. It's a Brazilian built sprayer that they're bringing up here just as a cheaper option compared to the Fendt. And this is actually the same Massey tractor planter that Brian Brown used. Cool. They're built in Beloit, Kansas. Did not know that. So here's something I really want to see. It's the driverless, steering wheelless combine for Fendt, the Ideal drive. It's kind of cool. It's got a joysticks on the left. That's actually what Brian Brown has. And I think they even have their auto dock feature. Yes, they can hook up the heads automatically without getting out of the cab. Pretty cool. Once we dropped down more on previous Fendt models, this shaker pan was up a lot higher. You couldn't change out these concaves. They must have changed that design. That's it, guys. I've always liked these Fendt combines. A lot of cool stuff on them. Yeah, here it is. It's on a hydraulic cylinder. Extends out and hooks up. Pretty cool. That's kind of neat. And they also got an air blast right in through here. Kind of cleans off your feeder house. Okay, here is the Fendt Ideal drive. I just love the idea of this thing. So no steering wheel column here, so you can actually see straight down to your feeder house. You control it like this. Here's the downside. Now I would love to talk to somebody at Fendt to actually understand this. So what if you're riding with somebody and they hit that? It's just, I don't know, I just worried going down the road. I love it in the field, absolutely would love it. Because like I said, it's just so much easier to control this than anything else. But here's your joystick, it's a return to center. So you bump it and it returns to center, kind of like the New Holland. Here's your engagements. You got rotor reverse, I didn't know they had rotor reverse. Full drive, parking on and off. But kind of cool, I'm guessing this is the header box, as I'm not sure. The Ideal air blaster. That's kind of cool. So like I said, it's got an compressed air going down there. It'll actually clear off your feeder house. That's pretty sweet. Cameras, Dakota Micro, nice. And then it's got a bunch of stuff up here that I don't understand. But I do appreciate this. So you remember how the case one was way down here? Can't really see into the grain tank. This one you can at least see all the way in the grain tank, so that's nice. But pretty cool. And like I said, not sure how I feel about this. Is your actual engagement. You push that. So you actually swing your unloading auger like this, engage it like this, header up, header down, reel, auto steer, auto turn maybe, not sure, no, auto header height. So I don't know, pretty neat. It's a cool cab. Like I said, the biggest thing is not having that steering wheel is pretty sweet. These are different. I have no idea what those are. Those are like sensors or something. I'm not sure. Like on the underside of the combine. These are like acoustic sensors. They can they have these all the way back on the rotor, and you can kind of see how much grain's coming out at different points of the rotor. That's kind of cool. Planted some of that. That's nitrogen that actually goes on your seat coat. Didn't really have, just the cost of it really didn't make a whole lot of sense for us. I doubt we do it again, but it was still kind of neat to try. This is a very low cost moving option. I like that. These guys used to have the world's largest grain cart. Not anymore. I think theirs is the biggest is a 2,800 bushel. Ooh, that's a big auger. Got a 16-inch auger right here. I wonder how many bushel an hour that thing can move. That thing is huge. Augers in through here. It's even got steerable axles. That is huge. For the reference, we have a 13-inch diameter. That's as big as we got on our farm. We also have a 10-inch just like this. Hey, we got one of those. It's a grouser. Look at the suspension on this unit. Well, that's cool.
No, not all of Kansas, eastern Kansas.
That's pretty cool. So here's your auction stuff. A lot of new 8Rs. A lot of equipment. A couple 410s. It's be interesting to follow tomorrow. I wonder what this R4045 would do. It's got a fertilizer spreader on it. Got some rust throughout the frame. It's got your row vision, so you can actually use this camera to help steer the piece of equipment, steer the sprayer in between the rows. A little bit of rust around. Yeah, some cracks on the frame, not great. Overall, not too bad. Yeah, a little rusty. You'll have that with fertilizer, I suppose. You'll be seeing some more of these guys. We're actually going to be using a corn head from these guys a little bit later in the year. It's actually going to be an 1815. Wait, my math. 1615. Basically, it's 15-inch rows. It's going to look just like this. And 16 rows wide. Because like I said, so we got our 15-inch corn. We don't know really how we're going to harvest it, so we reached out to Calmer and they're going to hook us up with a corn head. Or I should say they're going to rent us a corn head. Sweet, there's the Farm Rescue tractor. Farm Rescue, for those of you guys who don't know, they're basically a not-for-profit organization. That way, if a farmer or somebody has a catastrophic injury, they can't plant their crops, harvest their crops, whatever have you, Farm Rescue would come in with their own equipment, manpower, and help bridge the gap. Cool company, guys. I've donated them in the past. You guys should absolutely look at donating them because they're literally a non-for-profit company helping farmers survive and get through tragedy. And who doesn't love a wrapped pickup? Sweet. Or how the heck they actually plant these beans. since I know that the Farm Progress Show is going to be here. And they actually look pretty good. These are starting to reach senescence. These beans look really good. So it's a plot combine by Almaco. It's the R2, so it can handle 2 plots at once. So what a plot is, it's basically just like a little, you know, 5 by 10 square of beans. So that way they can trial a bunch of different varieties, a bunch of different test varieties, fertility, tillage practices, whatever. They can try that and they can harvest it quite efficiently. You can harvest 2 at a time. So you cut it up front, bring it up here, it's conveyed. It's a conventional combine, and then it actually has some specialty equipment to go ahead and clean it and weigh it, so that way you can get consistent results. It's a pretty cool thing. And it spits the trash out back. Very cool. Here's more of that auction. Man, oh man, there's a lot of Deere equipment. A lot.
It's supposed to have better fuel.
Bunch of sprayers, bunch of combines, bunch of tractors, tillage equipment. It'll be interesting to watch that tomorrow, because all there, way over there, pretty nuts. What the heck is that? It's like a remote controlled pallet buggy. Interesting. Okay, taking a look at the Gleaner here. It's the new T-series. So I think they improved the serviceability some. They still got the transverse rotor. So the rotor crop comes in the front right, goes out to the left, gets threshed down below, and then the straw gets kicked out through here. It's a pretty unique system. Like, that's your concaves, that's your separating area. They can separate all 360 degrees, so that's different. This whole thing is just different. Gleaner's just a different machine. Here's the new, got the styling changes. Feels so much better on this new T-series. Okay guys, we are in front of the new Gleaner T1 series, I believe.
So it's a T-series, yeah.
T-series?
So the model now is, the Model T.
Yep.
The next digit, the 7 on this one,
yep,
designates Class 7, and then the 1 is the series,
okay,
right?
That makes sense.
Yep, so you got the T1 series or the T71. So it comes in a 61, 71, and 81.
Okay, that makes sense. That's easy enough to follow. So we're at the Farm Progress Show, and Gleaner just unveiled it, and I have Robert here from AGCO. So
Yes,
Robert,
sir.
tell me about, like, what's this awesome, beautiful machine we got behind us?
Yeah, so we've made a lot of nice improvements to the combine, and we're really focusing on bringing value to the farmers, right? Understanding these, things are tough right now. Low grain prices, high interest rates. So we really concentrate on things that were going to bring value. So we started with this machine on the T-series to introduce a new DuraDrive ground drive system. And this is really a big change for the combine. So we got a brand new 2-speed transmission. We have new final drives, a new front axle, and we put in a new brake system also, and added diff lock to it. So the 2-speed versus our 4-speed prior to gives you a high-low shift on the go.
Ooh, gotcha.
Yeah, which is really nice. So you can run upwards of 8 miles an hour in the field, and if you want to zip across the field, you hit the switch, you go into a higher gear, and we also increase the overall transport speed up to 25 miles an hour.
Awesome.
So we increased efficiency both in the field and on the road with this. And then we added like the CVT style handle in it, so it drives like a CVT. So you really have more control, and it added a little extra powers to climb those hills and whatnot.
Is that very similar to the Ideal drive, where it's like the bumping hydro?
Yes, it is. Very similar. Very similar.
Gotcha.
And then from there, we've changed our styling completely and made better access to get into the combine. So let's just do this real quick. So we'll lock that, we'll swing this door shut. This was one of the things that we really wanted to work on, was get better access so you can get in there, do the maintenance and whatnot.
Yep.
And then it opens 2 different ways. This is so you can get in and kind of do your daily maintenance.
Yep.
You can go in and fill your DEF tank. You can get to your grease works that you need
DEF
to
on
do.
the ground is awesome.
Yep, all that. It's with the way our unloading auger swivels back.
Yep.
In prior models, you had to swing the unloading auger out
Yes.
to access things, right?
And I appreciate that you swung it up high enough for a guy like me can still walk under without
Walk in.
banging his head.
Absolutely. and it just opens so easy. So the rotor on this machine comes out the side,
Oh, so that's
because
that.
that's the stop sign that you see up
Yep.
there. So to pull the rotor out of this, open the door, take the bolts out of what we call the stop sign, disconnect the wire, rotor comes out the side of the combine, 15 minutes, you got it on the ground.
Man, so like the joke of being able to pull a rotor in under a half hour is a real thing.
It's real, and we just made it easier because of how they can access it now.
Yeah,
but the other thing, when you open up the side of this machine, you start seeing how simple it really is, and that's what a gleaner is all about. So we look towards simplicity because simplicity drives reliability. Fewer parts, fewer things that go wrong. And it just hangs in there. Plus it keeps us lightweight, so there's a lot of attention to soil compaction. But the other thing is we're not using as much horsepower to push the machine through the field. We're using it to do the harvesting, so we burn less fuel at the same time. So a lot of the other so we talked about that and the shielding. Let's walk around to the others. Let's go to the back.
Sounds good.
So we actually increased the length on the platform for the engine. You can see how the sheet metal, we changed that. We went from our traditional box style, right?
Yep.
A little bit of curve into it, added some lights, but gave a little bit more room back here where you're servicing the combine. All new hydraulics come with it, with the transmission and changeovers, new reservoir, filter locations, easier to get to, and we widened the door here to access in and out as well. Moved our handles and stuff, they were out on the outer part, we moved them inside, they're a little easier to use, cleaned the machine up a little bit.
And it's still got your tried and true power ladder though.
Absolutely,
I see the sign.
And one thing, the old ladders prior to, they would tend to make a little bit of noise,
they
right,
bang.
when they come down. So we now put these guides in here, and we put some rubber dampeners on there to soften that, make it
just a little. It's the little things.
But you don't have to hear the screeching in it.
It's the little things. I love it.
So we did the same thing over here on the shielding. This now is all one shield. Before it would just open over the radiator, and then you had a separate door to get to the batteries. Now you have more access to service the batteries. Plus you get some buildup in there, so you have to go in and clean it out. Right? It's harvesting. Made that easier to get in there, access the radiator to clean it. And we made a change on this shield also. It was a two-piece shield before and can be a little bit
finicky. We'll
use that one. So now it just opens all in one piece.
Awesome.
We've added the rotor reverser. This is another big deal.
That's going to be awesome.
So you're able to reverse the feed house, you're able to reverse the rotor. If you get in those conditions where you maybe plug the rotor, the way to get it out the old way was very difficult. Now it's pushing the button from the seat, gets you back to harvesting.
Makes sense.
We also made some improvements to our leaf screen before, trying to improve the airflow to the shoe to get it in there. And then the technology in the cab, things like auto turn, machine to machine, and the rear camera.
That's awesome.
So a lot of great changes here. Our customers, our dealers have been super excited about what they've seen so far.
No, that's awesome. Well, Robert, I appreciate you taking the time. This is really cool. A really cool update to an iconic machine. So really appreciate you taking the time.
You bet. Thank you much.
So I guess my overall impression of the show, nothing too groundbreaking, couple cool stuff. Like I said, the autonomous grain cart, I wish I would have gotten out there, but that's kind of something neat that they're trialing right now. Nothing commercial right now, but you know, today probably the cooler things, the Gleaner and that Stara sprayer. The Gleaner because it's iconic, it's Gleaner, so that's awesome. And then the Stara sprayer just because it's brand new. It's a Brazilian machine, a mid-mount boom. There's just a lot of unique and innovative features on that I like, so that was just kind of cool. But overall, I like the Case AF combines. I think it's a needed thing for their market gap, so be kind of cool. But overall, nothing too crazy here at the Farm Progress Show. I am cramming my stuff in my car. It's 8 o'clock at night. We just left the show. That was a fun night. That was a very fun night. Had an after party at Salford's. Talked to a few good people, and it was an absolute blast. So I hope you guys enjoyed this clip. These days, they're always fun for me. I appreciate all you guys that I stopped and chatted with. It's just an absolute blast. You guys are awesome. Appreciate everyone that recognized me, and appreciate everyone that had the courage to say hi, because that's like I said, I'm just a normal person just like you guys. So it was fun. Anyway, I'm gonna head home, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, take it easy, stay safe, and as always, ta-ta for now. Real quick before we go, they've done a lot of chopping in through here. There's 2 choppers going, and look at this, mile long fields of corn. My goodness, that is nuts. Absolutely nuts. They've chopped a lot of corn. Must be a big dairy around here. Kloss, it looks like. Yeah, 2 Klosses. Man, for those 2 choppers hauling probably 8 miles or so, they gotta have at least 15 trucks. And then 1 wagon. Here's a tractor and wagon. Fendt, probably. And real quick before we go, guys, so I was there on Wednesday. Pat actually came out the next day, and he actually made a purchase at the Farm Progress Show. So I want you guys to guess down in the comments down below what it is, and in the next video or 2 videos in the next week and a half, you guys I will reveal what that is. If you guys can guess that, I'll also I'll send a hat or a t-shirt out to you guys. So guess the comments down below. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching.